What is up, guys? This is Green Warrior 291. I'm here with Andrea, and we're here going to discuss on Season 7 of the Clone Wars what we thought about it as a whole, rather than just individual episodes, as each episode has its own review, which there's a playlist for it, and link will be on down below. Anyway, this season as a whole has a lot of expectations, not just because it's the final season of the Clone Wars, the official final season, but it's Clone Wars returning, at least for me. For Andrea here, she binge watched it beforehand, so she kind of didn't have to do the same experience.
I kind of know a little bit. I just know a little bit, not a lot. I really don't.
Anyway, as a season, and Gamer Warrior and I kind of talked this like off screen. Basically, what we thought, or well, mostly my train of thought on this point, the season itself is not bad, except part of the Ahsoka arc, which, let's be real, the Martez sisters were not my favorite arc to deal with, especially the second episode. That was the most stupidest thing ever, but. And then the third was a complete.
I think the younger sister was just really bugs me out. Really, she
didn't start it stupid though. That's what I'm getting at. It's like they started off with her being like at least street smart.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden. Go ahead.
And until the bigger sister came in, and then that's when everything went to shit.
No, you could have still written a good story around that.
I'm still though.
Because the big sister had an arc of her own. So it's not like she was completely out of nowhere turned stupid. She did questionable things, but it didn't make her stupid. The other one was stupid, especially episode 2 when she just dumped all the spice in space.
Yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, the Bad Batch itself as an arc.
That was pretty good.
Echo returning was great. Honestly, he's the last remaining member of Domino Squad. Because everyone is dead. Most of them died in the Rushi base, while Fives died because of Fox, which I'm glad he dies later on. Not in this season, but in the comics, which are canon.
Which are canon. Okay.
The Bad Batch themselves was pretty neat. Although we all know who your favorite character was. Andrea.
Oh yeah, the smart guy. Yeah, I totally... I literally just had a brain fart. I just knew he was just this tech guy. He was my favorite.
Tech.
Oh my god, I literally just said his name. I'm sorry, guys. I totally brained out. I'm like now dead of just now remembering the season now, so... Yeah.
Obi-Wan knowing Anakin's secret, to a degree, was kind of what threw me off. Although the original one would have been funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess so.
You didn't see it, but me and Leo watched.
I just had no comment.
Me and Leo watched the original one. It was gonna be the Bad Batch. They're getting into the ship. Anakin notices, like, you know, back in the day where like guys would always like paint some celebrity or something on their planes.
Yeah.
It was gonna be that, but it was gonna be Padme, and the Bad Batch were making jokes of Padme and stuff, and Anakin was pissed about it, which made me laugh. And it would have been funny in the actual screen, but oh no, politics and stupidity reasons. I mean, they added a good scene, but the reasoning is stupid. That's the issue I have.
Okay.
But anyway, Anakin was the highlight of that arc to a degree, next to Rex.
Yeah.
If Echo betrayed the group, it would have been obvious. Plus, I feel like he instantly went back to his normal self rather than like be traumatized for a bit.
Yeah, I suppose.
Mm. And then he joins the Bad Batch. What do you think of that?
I think it's really sad, but it's really good. I guess in a way it is, because he doesn't now feel, because after being lost, being disconnected with technically his family, like his friends, or really his family, his brothers, he doesn't feel like I guess he does. He loses every. I guess he can't. I can't think he loses everything that he's like done in his life.
Basically, he's no longer like a normal stormtrooper. Normal clone trooper.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Although, here's the thing. The reasoning for this arc being remade into its potential, sort of, is that they wanted Rex and Ahsoka to have like arcs, since they're the ones that are going to be in the Siege of Mandalore. And this was more of a Captain Rex storyline. Anakin showing signs of the dark side is cool, but it probably needed just a little bit more. Another arc. Which, funny thing enough, Bad Batch actually had a second arc that they were supposed to do with Yoda on Kashyyyk. The Kashyyyk arc was supposed to be why Yoda says he has a good connection with the Wookiees. So honestly, we would probably have seen another Bad Batch arc if this wasn't only 12 episodes. But moving on to the next, the crappy Ahsoka arc. I like Ahsoka. She is one of the best characters ever created. The issue is that this arc drags her down so much because she has to mentor two dumbasses. One is, well, as expected. She's a sister who's just doing what she can, but she sucks at it. The other one has no justification for being stupid other than for the sake of plot. I get excitement and stuff, like as a kid you're excited to do something and that, but literally acting foolish was not how she was.
Nope.
You could make the argument that, oh, well, first impressions are just this. They're not exactly the real deal, but tell me this. You meet a teacher, I'm going to use this analogy. This is going to be a weird one. You meet a teacher.
Okay.
They obviously know what they're doing, and all of a sudden, at some point, when you hit like one of the very tough problems, they just flip out of nowhere.
I feel like I've experienced that once or twice. I'm just kidding.
And plus, that wasn't even the problem. They weren't even hassling her. They were hassling each other. So that one didn't even make any more sense than that. But whatever.
It's just, yeah.
The whole point was get Ahsoka to go with the Mandalorians. They could have done something better. Also, another fun fact, they gender bent the younger sister because she was originally going to be a guy and a love interest to Ahsoka. But they changed that, and as much as I really hate when they do that, I can actually give them credit because another love interest for Ahsoka might have been too much.
Yeah.
Although I thought they were going to pull the Ahsoka's into girls type of situation, because I'm like, are they really going to add another love interest and the stupid one at that? Because it didn't feel like it, but I'm like, okay, no, it's just a whole weird friendship thing that I didn't bought at all. Because it's like, I can buy the Ahsoka, like, becoming friends with the older sister, but with the younger one, it felt too easy. Although, I'll give the arc this. The sisters have a good dynamic when they're together. When it's just them, not doing stupid things.
Yeah.
Like when they're getting the spice.
And we got to know them more based on like when they were like, I guess when they were like judging like Ahsoka because like she knows so much really. And of course they figured out later on that she was a Jedi,
which they really didn't do much about.
No.
You see,
which I don't think they really can't do much.
They tried episode 3, discover that she's a Jedi. Episode 4, mostly trying to deal with it. Because they really try to push this arc, hurry up arc. Like, we gotta get to the big thing. Which damaged the arc itself. Also, Maul, in holograms, I'm aware that you can see, like, specific things, but I don't think the fucking hologram can see, like, the entire room. So when Maul was just looking around the room, I'm like, wait, that's not how it works. I had to rewatch that, and I'm like, yeah, that's not how holograms work. You can only see the person, not the entire area they're at.
No. I mean, no, I guess not.
Although, as I said, the arc is not horrible to the degree that I put it, but... I mean, it's horrible.
I mean, it's not terrible, but it's just...
It's barely watchable. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Barely. Although there was a nice scene with Anakin and Ahsoka that was like a Darth Vader and Luke kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like in episode 6, Luke is like sensing his father and Darth Vader knows that they're in the ship and lets them through. I think it's similar to Anakin and Ahsoka, how he sensed Ahsoka.
Yeah.
We'll let him through. I swear, although that makes me question, why the hell is he in Coruscant when it's stated that he's not supposed to be in Coruscant? At least at that time, which makes me question. This arc and the Bad Batch arc should have been like in a different season, because they don't feel like a conclusionary finale type seasons. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
For the viewers who don't get it, sorry. What I mean is, this arc felt like it fits like in the middle of the Clone Wars, not near the end. That's what I mean. Like,
yeah, there's nothing more really.
Siege of Mandalore cannot be used as a comparison because that's literally the end of the Clone Wars. That is not something to be used. Like, in the original Clone Wars show, which I'm surprised I'm going to bring this one out, they have where, example, Anakin and Obi-Wan are sent to a planet. And it's starting to get closer towards, like, Revenge of the Sith, and Anakin's starting to go into his dark side form, like, more into it. There is an arc, I think it's the Utapau arc, I am unsure, but there's an arc where Anakin is talking to Obi-Wan, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna contact Ahsoka, but then he pauses and remembers that Ahsoka's no longer part of, well, that with them, and he's sad about it. He is mad, and I love it, because Obi-Wan's like, she made her choice, and to respect it, and Anakin's like, she made the wrong choice. To leave the order, which is funny because he actually wants to leave the order, but it was like, it was wrong. Or something like that.
Wow.
But he did mention that, what if he had like left or the order or done something terrible or failed his master? How would Obi-Wan sleep at night? And Obi-Wan's like, well, not well, but he trusts Anakin at that point that he won't fail him, which is kind of sad, and it would have added more to the season, but I mean, it does need to focus on Rex and Ahsoka, so I can give them that. Which, we're going to go to what makes this season shine like a bell.
No, shine like a diamond.
I want to mix things up. Anyway. Yeah, whatever. Anyway.
No, it's shine like a diamond.
Shine through the light.
Sure for those who get that, thanks.
Anyway, whatever. I got it wrong. Whatever. Anyway. As I was gonna say, the Siege of Mandalore is literally like a movie, but perfection. It might even be better or close enough to Empire Strikes Back, which is one hell of a feat of its own.
I was gonna say, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot for you to say.
Well, let me put it this way: Revenge of the Sith is probably one of the best movies next to Empire Strikes Back, because the two are on par. Yeah, probably Empire Strikes Back has better dialogue than Revenge of the Sith because, well, let's be honest. Anything Anakin and Padme related tends to have a very damned dialogue, but it's not so ridiculously focused like Episode 2. but the action itself probably is what makes a comparison. The original trilogy relied on its emotion than anything else. The prequels relied on literally the choreography of the fights, which made them exciting. Even though the General Grievous interaction was kind of weird, because now General Grievous kind of states that he's been trained by Count Dooku, and it's like, dude, if this is canon, you faced Obi-Wan who knows how many times. Which I want them to remake Episode 3 in animated form, like the Clone Wars style, and just show us more stuff. But that's other than that. Although, what do you thought about Maul in literally this season compared to like the other? Not compared, but what do you thought about Maul?
I was gonna say compared to like the other seasons back, I think from here seeing him in season 7, it's probably much of more better improvement than I have ever seen. I would say.
You see, Disney killed Maul's like excitement because they kept overusing him. They used him in Rebels, which, well, it's an explanation that he survived.
Yeah.
They used them on literally, what was it? Solo, which it's annoying, but
what can you do?
what's done is done. Although there's a cameo of that one character from Solo, the antagonist, who I forgot his name, whose actor is Vision from Marvel. That's all I can really.
Yeah. Okay.
He makes an appearance on like the Siege of Mandalore, which is the best kind of.
Yeah, I couldn't believe I didn't catch that, but I was like, I haven't seen the Solo movie in a while, so I was like, okay, I didn't catch that until he pointed it out. I was like, oh my goodness, what the heck?
Crimson Dawn is the creation of Maul, so they needed to reference that, which was a good reference. And then obviously the Mandalorians and clones teaming up to face off the Maul's version of Mandalorians. Ahsoka versus Maul is probably one of the best fights because the two have nothing in common with each other aside from being the apprentices of the two biggest threats in the original trilogy. But they've never had an interaction with each other prior at all to this, like regarding Clone Wars timeline.
Right.
So think of it this way. They managed to make Ahsoka and Maul's interactions more powerful than they would have originally because they've never interacted at all in the Clone Wars show. Rebels, they interacted, but that doesn't count because it has mentioned that they know each other already, which made this thing even more important to not screw up. So their interaction, and as I stated, Maul and Ahsoka, like, they both connect very well with the fact that Anakin and Sidious are their, like, masters in this sense. And the two tend to always end up having some kind of lineage or something face each other, if not team up. So it is very important to... It still connects to the whole Palpatine versus Skywalker thing that should have stayed. But I digress.
Yeah.
What do you thought about the fight itself, like Maul versus Ahsoka on episode 2?
I think the fight was just beautiful, honestly. It was probably my favorite fight, honestly.
Oh, no. Well, I'm probably going to discuss all the fights regarding, like, on the next discussion, which will be the full Clone Wars show. But if you were to give me out of this season, well, yeah, it's probably the only highlight of the season. Next to Order 66, but we're not talking about that yet. The fight itself, I'm not going to talk about the other fights because comparing it would take a while, but for this one was perfect. The fight was just amazing. Both of them using their skills against each other. And before anyone says anything, Ahsoka is not powerful than Maul. If you keep this in mind, even the creator said Maul is the more powerful between the two. The only reason he lost is the same reason he lost to Obi-Wan. And literally to anyone he fights. Except Sidious. He gets cocky.
Yeah, that's true.
Because how did he lose to Obi-Wan in The Phantom Menace, Andrea?
Right. Literally just, I guess, like you said, really, by his cockiness, really. That's...
He's overconfident of his abilities.
Yeah.
And
yeah, basically.
Ahsoka took advantage of that. Although in the books, the two were constantly insulting each other while Ahsoka was just luring Maul into a trap, which ended up working. But I don't know. I really thought they were gonna execute Order 66 like right there in Mandalore and have Ahsoka and Rex, I don't know about Maul, like try to escape Mandalore. But having it in the ship,
I mean,
was...
like I say, but then again, we almost saw Rex. We literally almost we saw Rex after he was given the order. He was literally attacking her for a moment. So technically, the chip was still in his head, but was still in his head. So technically, they wouldn't Rex wouldn't have nothing to do with like leaving with Ahsoka.
Regarding continuity error, because in the Rebels it says I never betrayed my Jedi, and we love that people bring that up. Rex is Anakin's Jedi. Jedi regarding that is more Anakin than Ahsoka. Ahsoka was more of his friend. Eventually, she never became a Jedi, so in a sense, he never betrayed his Jedi, which was Anakin. And plus, he did, with all the willpower, resist it enough to give her the information she needed to save him.
Yeah,
which,
I suppose.
Let's be honest, seeing the order being given to Rex, everyone is, most of the clones would be like, as you wish, my lord, or yes, my lord, or something like that. But he's the only one that addresses Palpatine as Sidious. Because he said, yes, Lord Sidious.
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy.
So he knows more than any other clone does.
You gotta give it to Fives, though. He's the one that managed to get everyone safe. And then I honestly thought they were gonna team up, Ahsoka and Maul, at least for like that bit, and then have another fight until Maul escapes.
Yep.
And then the droids.
No, don't talk about that. That was actually a set-off kill. That was actually depressing. That hurt me.
They were killed protecting the...
They were... I know, it was so sad.
Poor Jesse, though.
Oh, yeah. Shoot.
The clones could be reasoned with, but probably for a temporary moment.
Yeah.
That's the only sad part.
Yeah.
Although, what do you thought about the ending? Like, pre-winter.
Oh my goodness! Oh my good. Okay, I don't know if others know what planet that was. I still think it's Hoth, but I could be wrong too. But oh my goodness! And then just seeing like the new, just the updated versions of the stormtroopers, and just seeing Darth Vader, it was just. Oh my goodness, I had no words. I was speechless.
First of all, Darth Vader, amazing. Second, people say that you can see his eye change blue. I don't know if that's true or not. I've been trying to look, but I can't see crap. So I
I
feel
know
like it's light.
you could only see like his red skin basically. I couldn't really see his eye for much.
The bird up there is actually the one that gave Ahsoka her life back during the Mortis arc.
Oh, that's what I was wondering about that.
Yeah, like if you remember the arc in season 3 where
But
Ahsoka
okay,
turned evil.
that makes sense.
Here, I'm explaining to you.
Yeah.
That's the same. She's the same. That's the same. She becomes that bird that's flying. So for her, Anakin, or well, Darth Vader at this point, to see that, it signified to him that, well, his Padawan died. Now,
Oh, wow.
I'll say this, because I know people are going to start thinking, oh, well, Ahsoka could have saved Anakin. Two things. One, it is stated, at least in the book, which is secondary canon, because they changed a lot of shit, that Ahsoka sensed with the Force for Anakin and couldn't find anything. So she thought he was dead. Second of all, it is unsure whether Anakin would have done, what would he have done if Ahsoka was still alive? Because he's now under Palpatine and he's consumed by the dark side.
That, and he's also just and that he wants to make sure that Padme doesn't die from birth.
This is like after Padme died.
Yeah.
And then there's people. Oh, and then there's people who are theorizing that, oh, well, Ahsoka could save Darth Vader. She has a possibility. First of all, this is canon, so that's not going to happen. And even if it wasn't, Rebels is connected to Clone Wars as confirmed. She tried in Rebels and failed. So, shut up with that theory.
Well.
Now, there is a possibility, but it has been tested and it failed.
So, yeah.
So nice.
Basically,
no,
in conclusion, once you've turned to the dark side, there's no possibility of getting out. Or at least there's not one been confirmed that anyone has come out.
No, Anakin.
Like, back.
Anakin is the only one who has turned from the dark side and then returned to the light.
But he's the only one. That's the thing.
So that's why he's like a special case.
That's why we get to hear him in literally The Rise of Skywalker as the voices with all the Jedi Masters.
BS. I'm not going to talk about that. He did nothing.
I'm sorry. I had to mention that.
You had to mention it this season, which makes me more mad.
I'm sorry.
Because it invalidates him. He didn't brought anything back to balance.
Oh, but says the one that he comes back to the light.
Yeah, he come back to the light and threw Palpatine, yet the jerk still survived? Like, really? But that's besides the point. Did you
I know. I take that one.
Did you at any moment thought Ahsoka or Rex or even Maul, well, not Maul, but Ahsoka or Rex were gonna die?
No, not really.
You see,
I'm gonna be straight honest. I did not think that they were gonna die.
why?
I don't know. No, it wasn't because I wasn't as far as like you've been telling me that. Oh, they're both alive rebels. Literally, even before you said that, I was just thinking, no, there's a high chance they're gonna make it.
Ironically, Rex participated in the Battle of Endor, so.
So yeah.
Okay. Regarding that, I mean, the tension was still high.
Yeah, it was, honestly.
And then Maul wrecking everyone in the hallway.
Literally, you said that was, you said, what moment you said that was? You literally said it, that's the thing. It related to a moment in a movie.
Rogue One.
Movies. Yeah, you literally said it was just related to that because of what Maul was doing.
Maul was just killing every clone, which is related to when Darth Vader appears in the hallway in Rogue One and just wrecks everyone in the hallway.
Yep.
But as a season itself, I want to give it a 9 or a 10, but the issue is that the Ahsoka arc was just bad. It's watchable, but it's just bad.
It's just not something you would.
The Bad
like.
Batch is more or less like a typical Clone Wars episode. It's not high stakes or anything like it would have been if, say, you added the Asajj Ventress arc, which that one was high stakes, or Darth Maul, like when he got captured explaining his thing, which probably should have been needed because those who didn't watch season 5's ending, Maul was being tortured by Palpatine.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. I mean, they can always make another season, but I don't know what I feel. I mean, I wouldn't mind, but at the same time, it's like you just ended it perfectly. Adding another season will confuse the viewers, especially those that don't understand how Clone Wars works.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good cover for this video. Next video is definitely going to be the whole series, and we'll talk about like all the fights and everything, what we thought, the good, the bad, and the crazy.
They're all bad.
They're not all bad. Don't lie.
Okay.
This is Green Warrior 291 signing out. Peace. I heard you.
Bye.